Hey legends, welcome to an impromptu Virtus Performance podcast episode. Now I thought I'd just jump on and riff a little bit about kind of what's going on at the moment for a couple of reasons. One, because it's all everyone is talking about, which is fair enough because it's had such a big impact on our lives and on our day-to-day interactions and everything, but also because everyone's in a really strange headspace at the moment. So I think this is, like, for me, I think it's a kind of a cool little experiment to record a podcast now while we're in the thick of what's going on, and then to be able to listen back to it in 3, 6, 9, 12 months, and get almost be transported back to the mindset or the headspace we were all in on the, what day is it today? On the 25th of March, 2020. So the thing that's happening would be the global pandemic of Covid-19 dash 2020, I guess. We're 3 months into it, really, having hit China in Jan and then spreading around the world, and seeing how different countries and different people and different populations have dealt with it and are continuing to deal with it. I thought it'd be worthwhile jumping on and having a riff and shooting some shit, so to speak, having a chat. I'll maybe be on for like 10-15 minutes. So if it's longer, you can yell at me. And I'm not speaking through any authoritarian, with any authority at all. I'm just talking as a guy who is dealing with it, a guy who is facing it every day, as someone who has been heavily impacted by it so far. And everything's changing. Every 5 minutes, it seems, there's another announcement on, and another government officials jumping up to tell us what we can and can't be doing and how to be acting and things like that. And it's really interesting to see, one, the unexpectedness of it is perpetuating people's fear, people's frustration. I guess we're not used to having, everything's pretty settled. Like we live in Australia, for most of us that are listening, or at least we live in the developed world where the majority of our day is pretty set. We know we're going to get access to water. We know we can go to the shops and get whatever we want. We know we can see our friends at work and give them a hug. We know we can go visit our grandparents, but all of those things have kind of been thrown up in the air in a matter of days, weeks. Like, I guess it's at first kind of, and we'll all remember that time where it became real for us, but it first hit home for us a couple of weeks ago when we were sitting around and having a chat about some gyms that had closed in the US, and some gyms that had closed in Canada, because of this outbreak, and I guess the desire, the necessity to flatten the curve and reduce the impact on the healthcare system. And to go from that to I think the main measure that affected us at Virtus was every member had to have 4 square meters to themselves, which, being in a larger warehouse style gym, we were fortunate that we had that space, and we didn't really have to change too much to spread everyone out. We obviously we spent a week head down, bum up, getting our protocols in order, creating systems around hand washing and introducing people and greeting each other, and our whole interactions changed. And that was probably around the 10th to 12th of March. So we're 2 weeks post that. And in that time, it's been mayhem. Like, everything's changed. For those playing at home, not necessarily privy to what's happening at Virtus day in, day out. Like, on Sunday night, the Prime Minister released an announcement that we're basically going to stage 1 shutdown, which was surprising because we've never had to do it before, but also you understand why it's happening. So Monday at 12 o'clock, we had to shut the doors of our gym. Unfortunately so, even though we were abiding by those 4 meters square per person rules. And yeah, like this is something that all of our staff, all of our clients, me, KP, like everyone that's a part of it in some way or another has poured their heart and soul into this place for, like, we're coming up 4.5 years now. That's a long time to contribute to something, to then, we don't know how long this is going to last. It could be 3-4 weeks. It could be 6 months. It could be somewhere in the middle. We don't know. But to have, 120 odd regular clients that are now out of somewhere that for a lot of them is their outlet. It's their safe place. It's their happy place. It's certainly my happy place and certainly my safe place. And to have that taken away from you it's really, it's gut wrenching, but it's really interesting, and it's something that, like, I'm still trying to get my head around how I feel about it. Like, if you're a Newton's cradle, I'm the one on either end, just swinging side to side, just going, I'm happy, I'm sad, this is an opportunity, this is frustrating, I want to cry, I want to laugh, I want to get around to everyone. Like, it's been a really tough couple of weeks, but more importantly, tough 48 hours. Pardon me. And I think that's, everyone's feeling that way. And like, usually when we go through something like this, it's usually a pocket of our community, a business, an individual, a family that goes through, heartache and frustration all at once. And it's I find it fascinating because now everyone's going through it, and obviously there's different levels to it. Like fortunately, for a lot of our small business owner friends, they're still operating, which is fantastic. They're still able to, serve coffees, deliver beer, fix lights, build houses, do all those little bits and pieces, which is pretty incredible. But then there's others that have just, they've had to lay off staff. They've had to pivot. Shout out to the Friends reference. And if you don't know what I mean, pause this and Google Friends pivot scene. Pivot. But, we've had to pivot, and basically, Monday morning this week, we had a conversation, and, we were in an interesting headspace, but we had a conversation where we were just like, okay, we've got to create an online business in 3 hours. In 3 hours, our physical facility is closed and we're done. And we've got to create an online version of what we do with no face-to-face touch points. And like, Virtus is a very, let's use the word connected gym. Like, the way we coach, the way we interact with our clients, like, we're family. We hug, we high five, we fist bump. We get around each other, like, we coach in a very face-to-face, one-on-one. Here's how we change behavior. Here's how we fix it. Here's how we improve you. The banter's at an all-time high most mornings. Like, it's the way we interact is just a connected interaction, and that, in the form that we are aware of, or the form we're used to, or the form we know, has been taken away from us. And it's no one's fault. It's just the rules that the powers that be have decided to lay down on us. And I definitely, after a couple of hours and a little bit of thought, like, I definitely think that shutting gyms and high traffic places down is the right thing to do. It was the complete right call. And now, 2 days on, I think they should have done more. Potentially that'll come tomorrow. Like, everything's changing every day, so we don't know. But kind of the way I look at it is we've got people like Rye. Most of you will know of Rye, who's one of the most beautiful people in the world. He's got cerebral palsy. He's had pneumonia multiple times this year. He's got a lot going on, and he's the kind of person that we close for. The people that are at a higher risk of, if they do contract the virus, the COVID-19 coronavirus. he's the kind of person we're trying to protect. And when I stop and think about it like that, it's a no-brainer. It's every day of the week I would do it. I would, as much as it hurts, I would close the gym 1,000 times over. I'm tearing up a bit, to make sure that people like Ryan, our grandparents, and these guys are okay, because like no amount of money or no social standing or no business is worth impacting on that. And like it's such a no-brainer. But we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. But at the end of the day, it's happening. I think it'll happen, properly. When people listen to this in a couple of months, they'll be able to say, yeah, he was wrong. What an idiot. Or maybe it was a little closer than what I think. But they've got to shut, the majority, everything, shopping centres, schools, all that. They got to shut it down, because at the end of the day, the economy is important. And this is me speaking from a naive 28-year-old, fairly left-leaning on the political compass kind of mindset. But the economy is a made-up thing that drives us to make decisions that aren't necessarily better for our future, for ourselves, or for the people around us. And yeah, the economy is going to take a hit regardless with this thing. But if the economy is going to take a hit, we may as well make it take a big hit all at once, rather than dragging things out either side of it. Like every day we delay this, I feel delay is inevitable, and it's almost like a day waiting here is a week waiting at the other end. And local football's being local sports being cancelled. Hugs have been cancelled. Brunches, catch ups at cafes have been cancelled. Dinner dates have been cancelled. Like these are the kind of things we can't do at the moment, and it's really I don't know. I'm running out of adjectives, but it's mind blowing that this is normal now. Like this is new normal for today, and new normal might change tomorrow, but like we're all optimistic that things will get better, and that we'll go back to normal, whatever that looks like. But the fact of the matter is that the longer it takes us to deal with this thing, and for the danger to pass, for lack of a better term, the less likely we are to go back to a new normal, or go back to a normal. Like businesses are going to have to shut. Big businesses are going to go into administration. Local businesses are not going to be able to pay their bills. And it'll be a bloodbath, small business. And yeah, I don't know. It's for us, it's hit us pretty hard as a business. More how we're feeling about it. Like we're just shattered that we don't get to hang out with our clients every day. Like we're pretty lucky, and I guess that's the gratitude part of this whole thing, is that we're so grateful, and I'm sure everyone wishes they could go back without this, impending thing coming, go back to the life they had 2 months ago, because it's so different to the life we have today. And the worst we will face is potentially, so much better than people who live in uncertainty every day in war zones and third world countries. So yes, it is bad, but it's a huge perspective play, and it's a huge gratitude play, because if we can go, you know what, I'm so grateful that the worst part of lockdown is that I can't leave my house. Like I have lots of walls and a roof and running water and food in the fridge and the capacity to jump on here and record a podcast or connect with members or FaceTime my friends, or we have so much going for us, and it's really easy to get down in the dumps and get frustrated, and now's the time for gratitude and empathy for people who go through this stuff every day, and for perspective, and it's so important to coach ourselves. And I use the word coach because I think it's not something we can just do. We don't just decide to shift our mindset. Like all of us me included, have been down in the dumps because of everything that's happened, because of everything that's out of our control for the last couple of weeks. Like, I'm sure intermittently everyone's been feeling it. I certainly have. But at the end of the day, we have a decision to make. Like, we have a decision to make around whether we look at this as an opportunity to connect and to go inward and to look after our families and to do the right thing and protect people like Ryan and make the most of the cards we've been dealt, or we can decide to stick our head in the sand and, you know, hope that things get better on its own, and they just won't. You know, like, and I have certainly wanted to stick my head in the sand a lot over the last couple of days, like having to address the Virtus family a few times and having to kind of face up to our staff and tell them I don't know what's going, like what we're going to do and all of that. Like, it's hard. Like, it's funny, I sat here like in this seat I think it might have been Sunday night to deliver a bit of a live for our Virtus family Facebook group and kind of say, look guys, I don't know what's going on, but here's what we're planning, here's what we're looking at. And it was hard. Like, I was sitting here like not quite in tears beforehand, but I think I teared up during, but I was really struggling. And it's funny, I got these little sidebar, I've got these best self card decks on my desk. Like, one's an icebreaker one to open up conversation, one's a courage over comfort one, one's a wordsmith one for like writer's block, and there's just a pile of cards. And on one of them, like, this is a very serendipitous moment that I had earlier in the week. I was sitting here staring at the Facebook, ready to click live, and I was like, I don't want to do this. And I looked over, and the quote that was staring me in the face could not have been more perfect for that moment. And I'll read it now because it's still sitting in front of me, and I'm going to come back to it every time I have a weak moment over the next couple of weeks and couple of months. The quote is, courage has a ripple effect. Every time we choose courage, we make sure everyone around us is a little better and the world is a little braver. Breen Brown. And yeah, it's perfect for what we're facing at the moment. You know, in the scheme of things, what we're facing isn't that bad. Some of us might lose businesses, but it's a hell of a lot better than what a lot of other people have faced in human history. And, you know, I think we're certainly the lucky generation, or generations. Like, we live in the most prosperous time in the world ever. Like, there's no argument there. We live, like, mortality rates are lowest, child mortality rates are lowest, like yeah, average incomes, etc. We have access to technology, we have access to our friends, we have access to connection, and, you know, now is the time to tip into that. Now is the time to go, you know what, maybe hustling and head down, bum up at work every day to not see my family, and it's a little ironic because I've probably had 3 of the biggest days at work for a long time, but anyway, now is the time for us to stop and appreciate all we do have. Not worry about getting more because we don't need more. We'll realize over the next couple of weeks how important what we actually have is, and appreciating what we have and who we have. You know, this is a big opportunity, and it's hard, yes, but all hard things eventually result in easy things and better things and happier things. Like, this too shall pass is a mantra I'll run with for the next couple of months. You know, the good things pass, the bad things pass, and, you know, some are better and some are worse than others. But this is an opportunity to connect with family, to connect with yourself, to fill your own cup, to look after yourself, to be mindful of who you are and learn a little bit more about what you want and where you're at. To read, to write, to think, to get outside in the sunshine, to just connect with the universe. I won't say the world, the universe. That's pretty hippie, but play on. Connect with yourself, most importantly, and then connect with others. Like, this is an opportunity to do that. We may have to do it in a different medium. We might have to do it on a video call rather than face to face, but hey, we're apart now, so we can embrace later, and that's one of the things that I'm most excited for, is to get some cuddles in a couple of months, I kind of hope it's not a couple of months. That's a long time. But anyway, there's so many things to be grateful for, and so many things to be appreciative of. And from a business perspective, yeah, this sucks. But we're going to learn a whole lot about ourselves, having to shift our whole business model in a couple of hours. We'd plan for it we think this could happen, but when it actually happens, it's a whole different ballgame. It's like everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. I think that's a Mike Tyson quote. But on Monday, we were punched in the face. And, I'm so grateful for the team we have. We all got together Monday afternoon at a safe distance, of course, and had a chat about it. And we just kind of went, you know what, we got this. We'll look after each other. We'll look after ourselves. But most importantly, our mission hasn't changed. We're here to serve our Virtus family and to optimize their mental and physical well-being as much as we possibly can, and we'll keep doing that. We'll just do it differently. And I've been up and down since then, but that's what we're running with. That's what I'm really committed to sticking at for the next however long it is, and forever, because this is the time where it's important to stand up. We're not here to we're not in the rat race anymore. We're in the stop and look after yourself. And from a business perspective, this offers up a whole new range of opportunities for how the businesses out there that are in this thing that you're doing for the right reasons can shift your mindset and get creative and change the way you help your people. Businesses shouldn't exist to be businesses or to make profit or anything like that. I don't think. Profit's obviously part of it, but businesses should exist to help people. They should exist because they make the world a better place. And this is where we'll find out which businesses actually do, which businesses we really need, and which ones we don't. And which ones are actually in it for the right reasons, and which business owners are. Because, talking to very lucky being a business owner, having an incredible network of other small business and medium-sized business owners, and everyone's hurting, but they're looking after the people that allow the business to operate and to thrive. And so many community-orientated businesses around here, and all of them are looking after each other so bloody well. It's and I guess the thing about running a business and being in leadership in different aspects, and you don't have to run a business to be a leader, and not all business owners are leaders, but leadership is making the hard decisions making the hard decisions for the right reasons, and having hard conversations and doing hard things and sticking your head out when it could potentially get knocked off. And that's why we're here. We're here to do good things for people, because that's why we exist, and that's why Virtus exists. And I think I just zoned out for a couple of minutes there. I don't know what I said, but we're here to do good things, and we're here to contribute. And for every individual listening to this, the world needs you to contribute over the next couple of months. This is a time where we're using the term social isolation a lot. It's physical isolation, but any isolation can be of detriment to mental health. We're in a mental health crisis as is in this country, and hopefully these isolations can be of physical nature and not be of social and mental nature, because we need to connect. It's for anyone that knows the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, connection is up there, and it's so important to ensure that we're all looking after each other. So, if you're listening to this, stop for a second, send a couple of texts, touch base with people you haven't heard from maybe in a little while, touch base with your closest friends, your family. Everyone's going to be hurting through this, but we have the capacity to get through it, and we have the capacity to get through it together. And physical well-being is incredibly important too. Obviously, we've shifted our coaching model online, so everyone's kind of doing their sessions in the comfort of their own home without the thousands and thousands of dollars of gym equipment that they're used to. And it's okay. We adapt. We shift how we do it. We change our focus, and we execute on what we do have. Doing the best with what we've got is all we can do. So let's do it. We have a choice to look after ourselves during this time and to come out of it fitter, stronger, happier, healthier, more connected, or we have the opportunity to go the other way. And as far as I'm concerned, that ain't happening. It's not happening on our watch. Our approach as a team is just to contribute to everyone. There's going to be times where we can help. There's going to be times we can't, but we will continue to contribute as much as we can to those around us. And I'm sure all of the other businesses will do the same. And I'm sure all of you guys who are sitting at home listening to this podcast because you're in lockdown and you're sick of watching Netflix / sick of training and cooking good food and having good conversations with people, that you can contribute to. It takes one message, it takes one phone call, it takes one virtual tap on the shoulder to check in on someone and see how they're feeling, and it takes one decision. One of the guys asked me today, how am I feeling at the moment? And I'm like, honestly, it's been a tough week. I'm up and down, but my focus, and I'm in the thick of this with you guys, in an hour I'll be upset about it, but my focus for the next however long is the same focus I've had for the last 12 months or so. It's just focus on the little wins. If you can focus on the little wins and contribute to your future self and your present self day in, day out, over and over again, then you'll win. You're winning. There's no doubt about it. If you stop and decide to write something down to express how you're feeling, it's a win. If you have a good meal, it's a win. If you hydrate yourself and keep your fluids up, that's a win. If you do your session, that's a win. If you don't do your session but decide to go for a walk instead because that's what you need, massive win. So, for the foreseeable future, you have a choice. And I'm going to try and wrap this up because I said I'd talk for 10, 15 minutes, but it's been 27. So I've talked too much. But you have the choice for the foreseeable future to contribute to the people around you and the person that you want to be, or you have the choice to go the other way. And this is a quote that I'm trying to live by at the moment. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. That's Viktor Frankl from Man's Search for Meaning. And, we have the opportunity to choose our attitude through this situation, to practice gratitude and empathy and compassion and perseverance and resilience and all the good things that we know make us better people. We have the opportunity to practice that and to contribute to it and to tip into it. And I have no doubt that whatever happens over the next couple of months, couple of weeks potentially, it has potentially been a hairy couple of days. Whatever happens, we're in this together and we'll look out for each other and we'll get through it because it's what we do. It's what we do. We do the right thing because it helps those people around us. And yeah, I'm proud. I'm excited. I'm proud to be a part of this community, and I'm excited to lean in with all of you guys just in a completely different way. For everyone that does struggle during this time, reach out. Myself and the whole Virtus team. Look, I'm going to speak on behalf of the whole community. Everyone is here because everyone is here and capable and able to help. Even if it's just a listen, even if it's a joke, even if it's a virtual pat on the back, we're here for you. If things get tough, please reach out. Please lean on each other. Please be kind. Kindness always wins. And this is a time where we need kindness more than anything. And yeah, it's exciting, it's scary, it's all of the good and bad things, but it's life and we've got to deal with it. And at the end of the day, it will be what we make of it. And I'm really excited and really proud to get ready and get stuck into this with all you guys. That's me. I'm done. Goodbye.